Anuj Puri, Chairman of Anarock Group, with us this morning. I'm speaking with Dhaval, Ajmera, Director, Ajmera Realty and Infra India as well. Welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for joining us on this special discussion on NDTV Profit. Anuj, let me come to you first. And just to get a sense of where we are, since the big trigger for this conversation is also the Maharashtra election outcome, does it really give a boost in that sense to ongoing projects? How is this being looked at by the industry and not just sentimentally?
First of all, a very good morning, and always a pleasure, delight to be on your show, Tamanna. It is a big boost to the real estate. It's not only which government comes in, it's the stability of the political situation in that particular state. If it is more aligned to the center, even more beneficial for the state as an overall theme. And within that, real estate really prospers. Because if there is stability, then you know that the clearance of the projects are going to be smoother. You know that the policy for the next 5 years is going to be stable. You know that there's going to be new infrastructure, development, roads, connectivity, large land parcels are going to open up. And then you also know is that there will be more physical and financial benefits that the government is going to be able to provide, given that they are just come in, and that should really boost the sentiment and on-ground situation. So clearly, as a first point, I would say is, irrespective of where the market dynamics are and the demand, just having a very stable, strong government within the state and aligned with the center just really helps real estate from a stability and from approval perspective. Demand, Tamanna, stays extremely strong. And we are seeing is that the continuation of the stock market bounce back and the way the IPOs have happened over the last 10 odd months, some part of that money has gone into real estate. Now, within that, premium luxury are doing much better than necessarily the affordable housing. And I liked, just before our discussions, the way that it was all put together, that affordable housing may need focus from this new government, because that really needs a little bit more push to be done.
Right. Anuj, good point. We've also got Dhaval Ajmera from an industry perspective joining in. Dhaval, hi, it's Amina. I guess you're, like the rest of the market, cheering the Maha victory in Maharashtra. How do you see the government's potential focus on affordable and middle-income housing impacting your project pipeline specifically? And then also, what does it mean for the industry at large?
So thank you very much, and good morning to all. I personally feel, in India, affordable housing is the need of the hour. There are some viewpoints. Actually, affordable housing is always being measured as the size of the apartment and not at the price. Unfortunately, the government right now is measuring the affordable housing along with the size and the price. So there's a cap of 45 lakh rupees. And we all know that in a city like Mumbai, and even more so even in MMR, it is difficult to get apartments at 45 lakh rupees. So if we just remove the price as a definition and only keep as a size, let's say 16 square meters or 600 square feet or 450 square feet to 600 square feet, I think we will have at least 70 to 80%, or I would say 60 to 70% of the apartments all across in Mumbai and MMR coming into the affordable bracket. And it will phenomenally change the entire market completely, because, I would say majority of the developers, primarily in MMR and a lot in Mumbai as well, make, apartments about 60 square meters. So that will be a big difference in this. And I personally believe that we should push this in this government, which is, similar at the center and the state, to get this as a reality.
That was the case for the last couple of years, at least. I'm just trying to understand if this is more of a sentimental positive, or are you actually seeing the facts on the ground support this optimism? And Boman Irani is joining us in that conversation, Chairman and Managing Director of Keystone Realtors. Boman, great to have you on the show, as always. So let me start with that first question that we've posed to Anuj and Dhaval this morning, which is, what really changes? What really changes for you as someone in the business with this new government coming in Maharashtra at least, and our focus on Mumbai-based realtors this morning? And what are you expecting?
First of all, thank you for having me on the show. I'd like to state that the kind of mandate this government has got this time has been unprecedented. Maharashtra has never given such a mandate. So all the reforms that they were carrying out prior in their earlier avatar will continue, and we hope for them to continue at a stronger pace. It is the BJP stated statement that they want to see a slum-free Mumbai, and I think towards that they will do a lot of work. There are certain reforms with regards to affordable housing. There are also certain issues that are plaguing the industry with regards to civil aviation. I think having the coordination between the state and the center will really help us resolve these. As a matter of fact, we are in Delhi right now, and hopefully today itself we are meeting up with a few of these, either a minister and some secretaries, to be able to kind of take this forward. But truly a great step for us in the right direction, having a resolved government with such a mandate, and they should be able to, at least, we believe that miracles will happen this time around.
Anuj, you want to comment on this? Do you expect the reasons or the fact that so many projects have been stalled in Maharashtra, do you think this is about to undergo a big change with stability now in the state for at least the next 5 years? And with government intervention, this could be managed effectively?
So, the biggest problem that we are having in MMR at this moment in time is not demand. It is the inability to be able to get new launches off. Today, if you were to look at it, the supply is far lesser than where the demand is, as a result of which the unsold inventory is at a historic low for MMR. So Boman is right in that is that there are certain things that are plaguing the launches, the inability for the developers to be able to launch. One of them is the aviation or the environment, or just that the approval process has taken a much longer time. And we do believe is that with a very strong, stable government and alignment with the center, some of these should be addressed. So in a nutshell, the problem, fortunately, is not as much demand as it is the launches. And my fear is that if the launches do not come up and the new supply does not come up, the prices will start to run up because your unsold inventory is at its historic low.
So unsold inventory is not a problem, but I would say that inventory levels are lower. Your supply-demand mismatch continues. Dhaval, hi, Tamanna here. Just trying to get a sense of that. What are the inventory levels looking like for you over the next 12 months or so?
So, as Anuj said, the demand is pretty good. Inventory levels are, at, all-time low, I would say. Whenever we are having a good launch or whenever we're launching a project, we are seeing a good sales happening. There has been a good demand. And as far as the current projects are concerned, like, where in Vadala or etc., all these projects are, constantly having a steady sale. So, I mean, if I have to put in numbers, I would say it would be about less than 50%, which we're very sure that in the coming 5 to 6 months or over the period of cycle of completion of the project, we should be able to, completely sell this off.
Okay, I'm going to take that question to Boman as well. What is your outlook on the kind of inventory levels in Mumbai right now?
Waiting to, have some more launches. We've already launched 5 projects this year. We believe, and Anuj has put that beautifully, there is a shortage of supply as of right now, and the shortage of supply, especially in the newer markets that have opened up. And we plan to explore or, take full advantage of the situation by increasing our launches. One of the things that, one can look at in the coming time is that the redevelopment will have a great amount of impetus and growth, because that is exactly what's needed. And this, again, in our interactions earlier, through our trade body, we have had plenty of interactions with the government, and they seem absolutely resolved to be able to make housing a quicker, if I may say, approval process for the developers. And in time to come, hopefully, we will see a lot more launches coming. Anuj, I'm sure you will see that in 25, and not the financial year, but the calendar year, you will see many more launches coming in Mumbai and MMR area. And with the infrastructure growth, there'll be newer areas opening up.
I'll take your cue from that, Boman. This is Samina joining in as well. And of course, with all the talk about railway and infrastructure projects in Maharashtra, this general sense is that there will be a pickup on commercial real estate opportunities. Which commercial real estate segments do you see an uptick in, or would you, as a a realty firm, consider making investments in on bringing projects on stream if you do commercial at all?
No, we are largely a residential developer, but having said that, Dhaval and I are jointly doing a project which is a smaller commercial in Bandra itself. Add to that, we've got about 4 million square feet of commercial that we're looking at exploring in Thane. And we've already stated earlier that we're looking at data centers where we have a tie-up with Keppel Data Centers, and we are exploring, and hopefully before March this year, we'll have something to say on that account. If you ask me locations which are going to be really hot for commercial development, I think with the added infrastructure that's happening in BKC, the entire area around that, not necessarily just BKC, but even the land between the highway as well as the railway line, should be getting a huge impetus or a growth. And add to that, you'll have Lower Parel with the newer developments that are coming up in that area. And don't be surprised if Andheri again starts taking off in a big way. And places like Thane, which are growing residential hubs, will also be adding, or rather adding a little more in terms of the commercial stock. I would say that we would be taking advantage in 1 or 2 locations only, and not everywhere with our commercial developments.
Interesting to learn on the show that Keystone and Ajmera are working together. So that's a nice aside for our viewers as well. I'm just wondering on input costs, and whether input costs and material costs are going to be a concern in H2 going forward. There was a bit of concern in the last couple of quarters as well. And let me bring that to Dhaval first. In terms of profitability and margins, because what we've established so far in the conversation is you're saying demand is good, inventory is at an all-time low, more inventory is coming in, all that is fine. What about profitability? How are you seeing that pan out?
So I personally believe that as far as the cost of input is concerned in terms of products, it's been reasonably okay. There's not been too much of a variation. Yes, some of the inputs like lifts and other materials which have been in heavy demand because of the over demand from every developer or projects, there would be a little bit of delay in terms of supply from these people. But overall, I think the costs have been okay. The most important concern right now in any realty project, I would say, is the time gap between completion to execution to finishing, because there will be approvals involved, there will be delays in terms of execution, and also there will be delays in terms of supply of materials. I mean, that time gap would be probably incremental in the cost because of the interest and everything. But as far as input is concerned, I think the prices have been reasonably okay, and I'm hoping that the steel prices and others don't really jump up across and make it too unaffordable, which I believe with the steady demand and the steady supply should continue to work in the next half as well.
Anuj, I want your perspective on infrastructure-led growth. What I was asking Boman earlier. How do railway and infrastructure projects in Maharashtra enhance commercial real estate opportunities? And if you see that this could be enough reason or enough trigger for a pickup in activity, then maybe retail, office, warehousing, who is poised to benefit the most in your opinion?
I think there are 2 points on that. One is given the stability and alignment with the center, I do feel is that there will be more industries that will come in. There will be more businesses that the government will be able to attract. As a result of which, there will be more employment in various sectors. First will be on the office side, the global capability centers. Boman highlighted the various micro markets. I do feel as those are going to benefit, including the new Mumbai, because that is where we're going to see a lot of the IT development coming in, the global capability centers, the data centers, all going into Navi Mumbai. Given the attractiveness of a stable, aligned government with the center, that's the first one. The second will be is on the industry. I think industry for a very long time, we've not been able to attract as much as some of the other states have been able to do within Maharashtra. So I do hope that with this government coming in, we will be able to attract a new industry. So that sector should benefit. And then warehousing has overall been doing very well for the MMR region, given that e-commerce and quick e-commerce has been doing well, so that sector will do well. If I was to take a pick, I will take a pick on the office sector's growth at this moment in time to say is that with this new government coming in, hopefully we will be able to attract more global capability centers. Hopefully the outreach of the ministers with the foreign companies is going to be more proactive, more positive, and more constructive to be able to bring them back into MMR.
Okay, just want to get one quick view from Boman about a couple of things. One is profitability. The question that I asked Dhaval, how are you looking at profitability going ahead, and how are you looking at affordability going ahead? Are you seeing prices going up in the next 6 months or so, or the next 6 months to 1 year?
Prices should rise because of supply demand, and that should be the only reason. I'll tell you what will give. And that is where I have a little hope with this government, is that there'll be a rationalization of premiums over a period of time. And that's been a long-standing demand of the industry, and we're hopeful with this government, we should be able to kind of continue the discussion, which will allow us to kind of keep the prices stable. I don't enjoy, unnecessary price rises coming up. And of course, something has to give at some point of time. We believe that right now the government's premiums are very, very high to this industry, and that is the one thing that they have to give. As far as profitability goes, I think we are all poised to, take a 5 or 10% in terms of sensitivity on our profitability over all the projects that we do. But more than that, there should not be a kind of a dip.
Just talking about what you're hoping for, one big boost to at least Maharashtra and Mumbai real estate was post-COVID, when stamp duties and other tax incentives were given. Those have since disappeared. And I'll take this to Boman first. Are you hoping for those kind of sort of sweeteners, so you could have maybe more high net worth individuals coming in?
It's not only high net worth individuals. Yes, we're absolutely looking at getting stamp duty also rationalized, not only as a one-time dip, but stamp duty, according to us, should not be more than 3%, and that would be the right number. As it is, we have so many cesses and taxes that we are paying, so stamp duty should not be something that, especially in a city like Mumbai or across Maharashtra, where housing is such a great need. Number one. Number two, I already told you that we are looking at rationalization of premiums. The government was actively considering it, and we've had 2 elections almost in the same year, not almost, in the same year. I'm actually very hopeful of the budget in the coming year as well, that will kind of take care of housing, as a subject, and give a little more attention to it. So overall, sometime in 25, in the calendar year, we see a great amount of growth coming again to the real estate industry. And as such, Maharashtra will continue to shine under, the new government that is there right now.
This part was what developers want. Anuj, let me come to you on whether this is likely at all.
I think, Tamanna, on the stamp duty, my guess is that it is likely for affordable housing.
Okay.
I think that's where the government may want to focus at this moment in time, because MMR is really lagging on the affordable housing. So premium cuts, maybe some cess cuts, stamp duty will be more on the affordable or the mid-level housing.
All right. Thank you so much, Dhaval, Anuj and Boman, for joining us today. We'll do a quick market check before we slip into a break. Sorry, I think Boman wanted to come in.
Can I get one point in? Anuj, it is the most unhealthy trend if they ever try to discriminate on the basis of affordability and not. And we've had this discussion with no, I'll tell you why. We've had this discussion with the earlier revenue minister as well, when he proposed this point. And I said, if you throw out the utpadaks, that is the people who create jobs in the city, then you are actually disincentivizing them from being in the city. And why would you do that to an industry where, let's say, the premium
Boman, the utpadaks are hardly languishing. They're all in the city.
I'm with you. But can I ask you another question? You take an industry like ours, which is flourishing at this moment in time, and give it a status akin to a top athlete who's doing extremely well. Would you then start starving that athlete, or giving a little more attention to them? It is important we change the perspective. Our mindset needs to be more focused on the overall development rather than trying to appease to only one asset class. I'm a firm believer of this, and I will keep advocating this also.
I think this is a great conversation we can have separately, because taking your athlete point forward, what about giving some vitamins to the starving athlete? Maybe that's the counter argument that would come in.
Let's have this discussion. It'll be fun.
But yes, this is time for another discussion. But yeah, great to invite all of you back on for that one. Boman Irani, Dhaval Ajmera and Anuj Puri, thank you so much for joining us.